Hi, this is Sandy,
And this is Trina.
and we're back with more talkable subjects.
Yeah, so
So let's talk about it.
let's talk about it. As we always kind of get on here and we start talking about things that we talked about. And so we're talking about things that we talked about, right? And so one of the things that we've talked about over the years, we've talked about just, kind of that blank that exists in your life. And that blank of, we had a sentence for it is giving yourself permission to, and then you're responsible for that blank. It's the permission you give it to yourself to, and it's almost like, well, what is it that you would like to do that you haven't done? We know that you might have had experience of a loss,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's not just a loss; it's a major part of you that's missing. Um, but there's some things that you still have to do.
Right.
But more importantly, the question we have for you is the things that you want to do that you've not done yet. And so today we want to talk about
Yeah.
giving yourself permission to.
Giving yourself permission, maybe like Trina said, something you want to do or you've been thinking about doing or you're not sure, you're kind of teeter-tottering with it. I like to share something that I know when I was grieving, some time had passed, some significant time had passed, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to date. And I wasn't sure what people would say. And I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure how it would be received. Remember, I married my high school sweetheart, and this is the only person, they've seen me with. And now here I am, but I'm feeling like I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I gave myself permission.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of that blank.
Step
You
blank.
know, what is it that you'd like to do? What is it that you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you're called to do? Right? Go ahead and take a moment and give yourself permission. A lot of times we know our calling from
Right.
how people might just tell us you're so good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or you might say to someone else, they are so good at that. I wish, right? So giving yourself permission might be fueled in a wish. I wish I could, right? I wish I would, right? So
Right.
I would say just, give yourself permission. And I like you sharing that. Thanks for being transparent. And you wanted to give yourself permission to date, right? After a loss of a loved one. And whether it's your own kids or your in-laws
Right.
or, you know, just different people in your life. So what would this look like? So a lot of times we are going to question ourselves about what somebody else might experience or what they might think
Mm-hmm.
if we gave ourselves permission
And
to.
I think it's just that, Trina, what you just said. I think sometimes we can get caught up in the what will someone think or how will someone see me that prevents us
Mm-hmm,
from
mm-hmm.
the giving ourselves permission to whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
And no matter what it is, I believe we all deserve to give ourselves permission to do the things we want to do.
Mm-hmm,
I think that that's a fair thing
mm-hmm,
that we all should be able to have permission to give ourselves
mm-hmm,
and not wait or need it from others or
mm-hmm,
approval from
mm-hmm,
others. Because sometimes I'll be honest, there has been things in my life that I've done in an order that might not necessarily been in agreement with my family, but it was a choice and I gave myself permission to do it. So don't always look for the hand claps.
yeah.
Don't always look for people to understand why you gave yourself permission to do that thing or not do that thing. But just
Mm-hmm,
remind yourself you are giving yourself permission because you can.
mm-hmm. Now that's good.
So,
That's good. There's this lady I was listening to, and she had said that, she had always went through these family traditions for around the holidays, and then it was always, centered around the exact same thing. We call them traditions, right? This is a family tradition.
mhm,
We get together. It's a holiday, whatever the holiday is, and we do certain things. So let's just use Christmas for an example. And so it was always this, I did this. This is her her testimony. I always did this. I did this because it was the right thing to do. It was the normal thing to do. It was the tradition in the family. However, after the loss of her husband, she decided not to show up. So she gave herself permission to kind of pour into her on that particular holiday, and then said that she had decided to go to a hotel, and then it was to evade and avoid any traditional things that she couldn't handle really. So first year it's one night in a hotel, and then decided to create her own traditions, right? So she gave herself permission to reinvent her holidays. By next year was 2 days, and then so for every day her husband has been passed, that's how long she would stay in a hotel, right? And she did say though in a conversation that she was up to 5 days. I take it that her husband had been, gone for 5 years, but it was setting a new tradition.
Right.
And so, she just gave herself permission to basically back out of the tradition. Right. And and I'm not suggesting that's something you have to do. However, if that's something you want to do, give yourself permission.
Right.
Go right ahead and as we said in other segment, take care of yourself.
Right.
It's really important. Yes.
It's vital that you do. And you have to first, when you decide you're going to give yourself permission, you really do have to be in agreement with that. So that means no matter who disagrees or who doesn't like it, like the lady spoke of going into a hotel versus being with her family for this particular holiday, if that's what she needed to pour into herself, she gave herself permission and she was prepared for whatever disappointment her family might have had. But what I know probably now have come to realize, that is what she needs. That is something that is helping her. And if we are surrounded by people who truly love us and respect us, then initially they may not agree, but I'm confident that they will come around if they are part of your support group.
Yeah, eventually.
Yes.
And if not, you are managing the way you know how to manage. Right. Another thing that I thought about too is these, if I could do anything. And so ask yourself that, if I could do anything,
that's kind of exciting to think about.
Right.
Like if I could do anything. Wow.
And here's what we got to do. Because we're going to always be able to make excuses of why we can't, right? And so whether it's money, whether it's time and money, right? But if you could do anything, I want you to think about that. If you could do anything, then I am going to say, give yourself permission to do it. Then figure out the plan.
Right.
So I can do anything? You mean I can go to Paris?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to give myself permission to go to Paris. Now, my plan is something I'm going to need to work out and work through. But for right now, I've given myself permission. I'm going to fill in that blank, and how I get there, it's another story, right? Maybe I throw that out to some friends and family, and they help me with my plan. Right. And if they don't, go to someone else. Right? Don't let anyone stop you from giving yourself permission to fill in that blank.
Yes. It's important, and it's called feeding the soul. And when you feed your soul and you're good to you, you're good to others, it's important to remember you are a priority. You are important. We don't always have someone to whisper that in our ear. So you have to be the one to tell yourself that and believe it, because it is true. You are someone, you are important, and you should. We encourage you. We challenge you even to give yourself permission.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
And then let's work it out. Whatever needs to happen to get it done.
Absolutely.
Right. All right. Well, we hope you share this with someone.
Yes.
We hope that if someone does need to hear it, that they hear it. Like this is a vital point. I do think that that we talked about this again years ago, and that's what we've done. Like we've given ourselves permission, whatever it is, to be a part, to not be a part.
Right.
And so we hope that somebody else gets whatever they might need out of it. So give us just some feedback on what you
Or
think.
give us some ideas,
Yeah,
share your
yeah,
thoughts, or,
yeah,
something that you've already done and given yourself permission for even. And we would love to read and hear your comments. And please, if this could be helpful to someone else, please don't forget to share. We certainly have enjoyed this conversation. I think it
yeah,
was really positive and
yeah.
really good. And we encourage you to practice it and take one step. It'll lead you into the next.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, friends, don't forget to visit your lighthouse.
It'll help you find your way out of the dark.
Until next time.
See you. Bye bye.